Hey there, everybody. It is Astronomy Daily Live. It is 2 hours UTC, and once again, we are gathering here together, as many of us do each and every
Hey
day.
there, everybody. It is
And
Astronomy Daily Live. It is
there we
2
go.
hours, and once
All right,
again,
well,
we
I can hear
are
me.
gathering here together. That's my fault. Sorry.
There we go. There we go. I got you. I got you. So, yeah, cool technical things like that, I think are really, really neat. Being a musician, I'm always listening for interesting sounds and sometimes feedback um, is very interesting. Is very, very interesting. So I like it. I like it. So come on in, everybody. Come on in, friends, and join the ever growing circle. I think I've got everything tweeted. I think I've got everything discorded. I think I am good to go. I might just have to do. Okay. I need to do that. Hey there, Bob Dog. See you in the chat. Uncle Bill is in the chat and on the panel. Hey there, Uncle Bill. And Bobby's on the panel as well. Hey there, Bobby. What's going on?
Hey, nothing much.
I'm popping my chat out, so I can do that.
And don't forget to show him that image.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about. Let me get my chat going here, and then I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go to an image that Bobby posted over on my Discord server. I can probably. It's possible that Uncle Bill might be a little busy, so let me send an invitation.
What did you name?
Oh, I'm just going to send a Discord invite onto the chat.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I could have done that.
that's cool. I wasn't sure if you were preoccupied there a little bit or not, so I just am going to go ahead and do it. Hey there, Andy. Nice to see you in the chat. Also, Tom, great to see you back in the chat. This is a ever-growing group of friends. It's I don't see 129 views every single day, but there are 129 subscribers now. So, yay! Yeah, I think that is extremely cool. I like, as I say, my thing is that I'm here to sort of share the passion and whatever form that may take. But here, take a look and see what Bobby did just recently. So I'm going to share. I'm going to share my screen, and then Bobby, you can take it over. Hide that. Go over here. Go up here. Go here. There we go. So let's make sure everybody's seeing that. We'll start up my live. Yeah. All right, so Bobby, what are we looking at?
Okay, you can see there's Florence right at the right side of the image. This is actually captured with the telescopic antenna with the RTL or SDR dongle. Both of them, I think you get them for about $40. And I used the G-Predict radio control software to control my GQRX while trying to capture that image, and then and then I used WX to IMG to do capture this this image and stuff.
Okay, and I finally got it. So it's actually showing on the screen here. So this is you're getting this image from a weather satellite.
No, it's not weather facts. It's a letter imagery satellite that that you can actually capture if you have like one of those communication receivers or an SDR, and then like you use your software to control your radio so it can maintain that Dopplership as it passes on by, because those satellite frequencies, when you're getting birds, it's not on a fixed frequency like the ones on the ground.
Right. Yeah, very cool. So, I mean, I'm sort of looking on the left side where it's sort of a grayscale. What's all that over there?
That's probably like just like I don't know how they did that and stuff. I just managed to capture this for the first time.
Yeah,
Whenever
yeah.
I did try to capture it the first time, for some whatever reason, my WX2 IMG app didn't have the necessary thing it needs for Linux. So I went up ahead and downloaded the beta version, and it had that thing. And all you gotta do is configure your pulse audio configuration to say, hey, I want you to use the monitor sync for, like, let's say my Bluetooth speaker.
Right.
And I went up ahead and downloaded the image. Now, the way it's going to decide, it's going to record it and then get the raw image. And then once you're able to once that satellite passes, it's going to get it ready for the real deal.
Very cool. So I'm seeing red lines on there, which are obviously like latitude and longitude, and then sort of like green lines that's outlining the continent, and then yellow lines that are outlining the states. And then I gotta say though that I mean this is pretty low resolution, and I mean it almost looks saturated, right? I mean we're not seeing a lot of detail in the middle, right? You know, we're seeing a bunch of other stuff. Now, is that sort of the nature of the satellite itself, or
what
is it the quality of the signal?
I can always go back to the WX2 IMG and see if I can try to fix that using the enhancement configurations.
I see. Cool. Right. Interesting. But yeah, you know, to be able to receive this from a satellite, right, with just a little dongle, right, and an antenna, of course. Pretty fantastic, right? The that satellite has to be, you know, visible to you, right? I mean, it has to be line of sight. Yeah.
Yeah. So like what you do is you get like for like your Fedora called gpredict, and then you get something called GQRX. Now on GQRX, you want to like go up ahead and enable the TCP configuration, and then look at your TCP configuration for the port. You don't want to do the IP address, just do the port. And then you go into your gpredict, configure the radio control to actually use the GQRX's TCP configuration. And when that satellite comes in range, you just go ahead and tell the control software, control the SDR software, and you should be fine.
Yeah. And you have to do that because the frequency is changing depending on whether the satellite is coming towards you are going away from you. The
Right.
so-called, blue shift and red shift.
Stop.
Yeah, Doppler
Stop
shift.
was called.
Yep, Doppler shift. Yeah, but um, at least in terms of light, which includes radio, um, as objects move towards us, their frequencies move towards higher frequencies.
Yeah.
And as they move away from us, um, those same frequencies shift to longer frequencies. And if you're listening on a radio, right, you have to be able to compensate for that. You can't have it set to, um, just one frequency. It has to track the frequencies as the satellite moves over you. So yeah, it's complicated. It's a little bit complicated, but yeah, with the right kind of software, yeah, fantastic. And I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be clear over you, right? I mean, it can be pretty cloudy, and you should still be able to get a signal.
Yeah, it's something like that. Now, the way that I captured that signal today was it was starting to like pour on down while I was like at my yard. So I did it like right up on my porch with the telescopic whip going like this way and stuff. So I got like still pointing to the sky, but also out of the way of the instruction and stuff. So that's one thing I like about that new rattlesnake antenna with the tail whip is you can actually like move the antenna to and fro, forward and to, not like the generic RTL SDR tail whips.
Uh-huh.
And that's like how I was able to capture it.
Yeah, that's absolutely sweet. And yeah, I had a friend who decided to get a ocean-going boat because his goal, at least at the time, was to maybe not sail around the world, but sail in the ocean quite a bit.
And what's it called again?
Well, so he had a boat, like a 40-foot boat, and on that boat, I guess in order to certify that you are actually ocean going, you have to have a radio that gets the weather sats, so you can download images. And I mean, this was back in like 2005, 2006. And he was getting pretty high resolution grayscale satellite images that were absolutely fantastic looking. Right off his radio.
All right, but I'm gonna need to like disconnect because I'm getting like the echolocation, so I'm gonna go ahead and like reconfigure.
Okay, yeah, I am hearing that echo, so good. He's gonna reconfigure, come back in. So yeah, so it's absolutely great, right? This thing that we call the science of astronomy sort of extends into all kinds of things. We astronomers, we've got our fingers in sort of everything, right? We're messing with the chemists, right, in terms of spectroscopy. And here's another example where it's like it's using radio receiver, radio telescope technology, and looking at the weather. Pretty fantastic. I mean, it is definitely much easier just to go, to your favorite what weather thing on the internet, right? That is the easiest way. But, you know, you definitely lose a connection there. So, yeah, it's just very, very cool. So he wanted to share that, and I think that is definitely relevant to Astronomy Daily Live. So because we're talking about space, so I've got the hydrogen hydroxide again tonight. Cheers. And I've got a little bit of hot coffee also. So cheers to that. All right, well, cool. So since we're already talking and thinking about the weather, what I thought I would do is visit some space weather sites. Probably the most popular one and the most well-known one is spaceweather.com. So let's go over there. I'm going to share my screen again.
All right, I want to, like, before you continue, I want to show you, like, how I have my teleweb and stuff. See, this is like,
okay.
So this is new rattlesnake antenna. I just did it like this, and I extended it. Put it like on don't put it like where the plants is at, but put it like by the plants, and that's like how I did it. And I was able to like do it on the porch and stuff. And here, right here, is the dongle I used.
Sweet. So you put that outside, though, right? The antenna outside?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah, yeah. And then just ran like a coax or something?
It comes with a coax.
Cool.
The RG58 with the compatible connector for the dongle.
Cool. Okay. Very cool. All right, so spaceweather.com is pretty good site. Pretty good site. They usually have, you know, some interesting pictures for sure. A lot of these are, you know, pretty top class shots. You know,
kind of a bit weird that Autolata's not here tonight.
Oh, she's not in? Maybe it's clear where she is. So, Crystal, hey there. I'm glad you have found some interesting space. Yeah. So, and Andy, did I say hi to you yet? I don't know if I did, but if I didn't, hello. Nice to see you in the chat as well. Let's see. So, yeah, you know, they always have, you know, some pretty spectacular images here. Of course, this is the Milky Way, our galaxy, and I think this is the Large Magellanic Cloud, if I remember right. The small one must just be out of the field here, just barely out of the field. So, but yeah, always some nice pictures. And, you know, they like to talk about sort of the more exciting astronomical events, right? And the moon is going to be going by Venus and Jupiter over the next couple of days. And so, you know, it's a good view, and it sort of, you know, if you think about the configuration of you know, Earth, Earth, Moon, Venus, Earth, Moon, Jupiter. You know, if you think about how that configuration is, it gives you a nice perspective. Yeah, pretty nice perspective. So let's see, what else do they have here? They're really into the aurora and all of that, you know, because that's where a lot of the excitement with space weather is, right? Is seeing the northern or southern lights.
And hoping like anybody caught that. But I was on Sky's Discord and it said they're supposed to be that Sky Alias and Fraser Kane's supposed to be having a another store party tonight.
Oh, okay. Another one tonight. Yay. Cool. Well, I know what I'm going to be doing for a little while then. For sure.
Check the date on that again, Bobby. I think that's tomorrow night. I shared her tweet about it.
Wait a minute. It's let me.
Are you talking about on Fraser's channel?
What's that, Uncle Bill?
On Skylius channel is tomorrow night. Are you talking about Fraser's channel?
Okay. She's using local time, not the UTC time. But it says on 9/12, start time at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. So I'm guessing she's on now.
Yep. I don't know if I got a notification on that or not. I usually get her notifications if they're on Twitch. I don't remember seeing one.
I don't think I configured my Chrome to get Twitch notifications yet.
Huh. Anyway, so yeah, so here's some air glow, which is sort of similar to the Northern Lights. As they say, you know, it has more, much more to do with the actual air up there getting, you know, slightly ionized, and you know, during the day, and then sort of, you know, glowing a little bit as night comes on. So that
Uncle Bill, I'm not sure if you have her server yet on the Discord yet or no.
Yes, I do, and I just checked, and you're right. It is tonight. I was looking at a day-old tweet.
cool.
But yeah, she's live right now, and that's happening tonight.
Sweet.
I don't have I don't have the CPU power right now to go ahead and tune in and see Fraser's in yet.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be coming on maybe in like 30 minutes or something like that, because I mean it's still daylight where he's at and where the scope's at. So yeah. She's probably just going to spend a couple hours warming up before he comes on. Yeah. Sweet. Well, that'll be nice. It'll be nice to see if there's anything new. Very cool. All right. Anyway, so space weather, you know, the sun is a very, very active object. I mean, relatively speaking, it's extremely benign, right? But, you know, on a relatively large scale, you know, the sun is pretty active. Pretty busy place, for sure. So, and that is the primary cause of space weather, right? Is activity both in the sun and on, you know, the so-called surface, and also, you know, in the atmosphere of the sun, which you know, technically goes out pretty far, right? Out to the heliopause. So, in a certain sense, we and all the planets and all the asteroids, many of the comets, at least, are inside the atmosphere of the sun. So think about that a little bit. So cool. I think that this is really, really neat what they're doing. They're launching these weather balloons, these balloons up into the atmosphere, and usually, these are kids, right? Students, and usually they have some kind of interesting experiment and all that, but they have enough room to, also um, have a means of raising funds, and so in this case, they flew a few of these uh, pendants, right? They flew a few of these up there, and they become sort of valuable, right? So I hope that they're able to sell them, for 180 bucks each. I'll bet you they will. So very cool. Yeah, there's a. Sometimes these photo galleries are kind of neat. Just sort of scanning through them, not really seeing if anything catches my eye. It's nice auroras. There's an asteroid here. See if there's anything else. So these are just submitted by whoever. Slim crescent moon. Look at that. That's pretty good. Swirly northern lights.
I'm sorry to have that echoing again.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. Okay, so let's go all the way back. And then they've got a report from the All Sky Fireball Network, which is something that we've looked at on this live stream a couple of times, I think, and we will again for sure. So these are the calculated orbits of all the little fireballs, the bolides, the brighter meteors. They're able to create a 3D plot of the trajectory, and then calculate an orbit and show us. So these are sort of the estimated orbits. And let's see, I'm going to turn Bobby down a little bit. There we go. Okay. So they're able to calculate the orbits and show us. And of course, they all intersect the Earth right there. Let's see if this zooms in a little bit. So, but yeah, it's showing the orbits, and my only real gripe is that they aren't showing their error bars in terms of the orbits. And my thinking is that the error bars are pretty big, but so if they did that, it would sort of defeat the purpose. So this is their best guess at the orbits, and I would say that they may have a 50-50 chance of being right, which isn't bad. But yeah, so it's just kind of neat, right, to see here's the sun, here's Mercury, here's Venus, here's Earth, Mars, Jupiter out here. So, and some of these orbits, right, are pretty, they're coming in from outside, right? And they just so happen to hit us. So here's another one too that looks hyperbolic. Very cool. So let's see the other space weather. Oh yeah, and they also list the potentially hazardous asteroids. So these are the ones that are coming in really, really close. And, you know, I guess we like to know about these kinds of things. They're starting to detect objects that are pretty small. I mean, 8 meters, that's a pretty good detection. So yeah, these are in lunar distances. So, you know, this is going right in between the Earth and the Moon, right? So is that one, so is that one about. But a lot of these are much further out, right? 12 lunar distances, that's quite a few, right? So in the scope of things, yes, extremely close near misses. But relatively speaking, you know, they can just keep missing us, because any of these objects of this size hitting almost anything is going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be pretty interesting. So far, so good, but as I say, many comets that have our name on them. So it's just a matter of time. Okay, cool. So I noticed over on Cal Sky that if you go over to the sun, they have a space weather section as well. So I clicked on that. And yeah, they show, you know, the KP index, and they have a forecast. So it looks like it's going to be going up. At least they're thinking it's going to be going up. Sunspot count, very low. Not very many sunspots right now. And then various images, right, showing probable aurora activity on the North Pole and the South Pole. There's the North Pole one. Maybe. Okay, so there's both. So, you know, definitely if you're in these areas, right, look up, because yeah, we're getting some nice auroras. And in the south, exactly the same thing. Just not a lot of people that, down there.
Yeah, I think there won't be a whole lot of images coming from that one.
Probably not. Probably not. Yeah. Actually, most of the pictures that I see are coming from, you know, England, Northern Europe. Haven't seen a lot from Canada or, you know, anything, you know, Iceland or Greenland. Haven't seen much, but, you know, we do have a subscriber that is in Iceland. So, yeah. Wonder if we can see if we can encourage that person to take some pictures for us. That'd be kind of cool.
There's a channel on YouTube. I don't remember the name offhand. I'll have to find it and link it. It does do a lot of beautiful 360-degree YouTube videos of auroras in Canada and the northern Midwest.
Sweet, sweet. Do they do this on sort of a regular basis?
Yes, it's a very regular basis. He's always posting great stuff, and it's, like I said, a lot of it is 360-degree stuff, so you can grab the screen and scroll it around to see at different angles. And
wow,
it's pretty wicked.
Yeah, nice. Well, if you think of that channel, post it in the chat.
Dang it, I'm starting to echo again.
You're starting to echo again.
Yeah, I heard it myself.
Bobby, you're just a troublemaker. That's all.
Got to get him a headset.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Let's keep moving through here. So yeah, that's that. So then they have images of the sun. This is sort of a visible, as they call it, white light um, image. That's just unfiltered, pretty much visible wavelengths, and yeah, number of sunspots, very very few. For some reason, it got me to this page. That's a little weird. Turn Bobby down again. There we go. Okay, so far so good, Bobby. Let's see. Yeah, just paging through these. This is kind of hard to see. It's a little small. And then these are just the LASCO images, right, from Soho. And then it's basically the same data again, right, showing you the KP index, history of the KP index. Sunspot numbers by, high resolution, going back a couple of years to what, 2004, something like that. So, yeah, pretty interesting. Went through a maximum about 2014, and now is, pretty low, pretty inactive. But it's part of the regular cycle, although I guess this was a pretty weak peak. So, yeah, just lots of cycles. We know them all because we've only been things like
I think you're losing a mic cord or something, Cosmic. We lost your voice for a minute.
Oh, am I? Yeah, I was sort of bumping around. Keep going now.
Yeah, hear you now, but you're really weak.
Yeah, you're really, really weak right now, Cos.
Huh. I'm really weak. Let me see. How about that? Nope. Really weak. Yeah. Let me hold on a sec. That any better? Nope, that's still pretty weak. I don't know. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah, getting a lot of pops. It sounds like you got a weak, bad connection in the mic cord.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. So it's gone a little weak, but
Yeah.
okay. Oh, sorry about that. How about there? Well, looks about the same. I'm just sort of wiggling the cord around a little bit. What about there? Yeah, that looks about the same. Oh, is that a little better?
The
Little
quality's good.
All right.
Just bump it up from there if you can.
Yeah, I'll just go with this. No major worries. So let's see. So yeah, that was the space weather on Cal Sky. So I thought that was pretty.
Yeah, very low on the mod.
Very low on the mod.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, well, the sun's going to do exactly what it is going to do. And it's, unfortunately, it's the kind of thing that, at least right now, we can only sort of observe. And if we're concerned, then we need to, try to predict. But yeah, I don't think we're anywhere near understanding what the sun is doing. Pretty complicated thing. So the other site that I like to see, just basically for the information, is spaceweathernews.com as well, because he usually has some he posts some interesting plots, and it's always nice to see plots because it's a nice way to see a lot of data at one time, and you can look for trends and patterns and all that kind of stuff. So the GOES satellites are weather satellites, but they also have um, some
All
kind
right.
of
I'd like to welcome Todderbert in the chat.
Todderbert. Hey there, nice to see you there. Cool. So yeah, these GOES spacecraft have these um, X-ray detectors, and so they're actually able to count the X-ray flux and report that back. And so you get some interesting plots here, right? And they're measuring this in watts per square meter, right? So they're talking about 10 to the minus eighth watts. So not a lot of power there, but they're seeing this in the X-ray, and each of the different colors is a different. Looks like it looks like there are two satellites, and they are looking at two different bands, So very cool. So here's a couple of different plots showing sort of the same data, right? So this is the solar wind speed in kilometers per second. So it looks like we're currently, well, at least as of a couple hours ago, running about 500 kilometers per second. So that's pretty fast. Being blasted by that solar wind. So, and a bunch of other interesting pieces of data. This is the magnetic field strength along the z-axis, which I think is sort of the radial axis between the Earth and the Sun. So that's kind of interesting, right? That strength changes. It changes polarity, and pretty highly variable. Sometimes with high amplitude, sometimes with low, but it's that's a very wiggly line. And here's the density of the material in the solar wind, and that's I'm trying to look at the units there. I think it's got to be gram. No, not gram.
Yeah, you're more like on and off
On and
with
off.
that microphone.
All right. Am I currently on?
Yeah, for
All right,
now.
I will not mess with the cord. I will not mess with the cord. But yeah, this is just the number of particles, I guess, per cubic centimeter. That's sort of how I would read that. So at least at the moment, we're up around 10, right? So 10 particles in a cubic centimeter of space right now. So not very much, but it is detectable. So that's pretty amazing. You can also see the temperature of the solar wind.
Fraser Kane up.
Oh, so Fraser Cain is there on Skylius?
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I'm going to keep going here for a little bit just to show you what else is available. Again, KP index. Here's the, I forget what this is called, but it's a view um, of sort of the inner solar system as seen from above, right? So here's the sun, and then here's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And this is just showing any kind of solar activity. These things that look like spirals, those are emissions from coronal holes. So it's like a garden hose, right? Just sort of spraying out, right? And as it rotates, of course, you get a spiral pattern. And then you'll also see this thing moving off to the right from the sun. That was some kind of coronal mass ejection, and it's just showing where it's going. See, so that one is actually coming pretty close to the Earth, and maybe that's why we had that KP index high the other day. And these are just different views. Here's the longitudinal view, right? So it's as if we're looking at the solar system now on the side, right? So here's the sun, and here's the Earth, and you can sort of see.
I am. Uncle Bill's got like a little aurora feed right now.
Got a what?
Uncle Bill's got an aurora feed right now.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, I found that YouTube channel and I linked the channel in the Discord. The resolution you see me playing is super, super low. This is smoking my CPU right now. So.
Gotcha. Well,
Uncle
these
Bill, you got
360
freaking high. I had to turn down my Bluetooth speaker Cosmic. You're still like a little bit low with that.
yeah. Who knows? Technology. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And yeah, this is a 360. I can drag it around and see. And like I said, this is really, really tough on my CPU to do this and follow your stream and the Google Hangouts thing. And I got Stellarium running, so it's all super laggy right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, I posted the link in the Discord if anybody wants to check out the channel. And this is his most recent one, and it's from, I'm going to pronounce it wrong,
Kashwitna Lake, maybe? Oh, I think he froze up. I think he.
Yeah, you're super, super low, and Uncle Bill is super, super high.
Okay. Well, I can turn him down. I'm already turned all the way up. It's this mic. Something's going on with the mic. Gonna have to mess with that offline. Definitely. Okay. Well, if Fraser is on, so can you confirm that Fraser is on and they're looking at stuff?
Yeah, I'm watching on the Roku right now. He is on.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna just cut this one a little bit short. We looked at space weather, which is extremely interesting. And I think, you know, I think that space weather has an effect on Earth weather, probably much more than what we might think. So, you know, hopefully at some point in the future.
You're not on you too, Cos.
What's that?
I'm still seeing Uncle Bill's speed. Oh, there you go.
Yep, I think we're good here. Okay, well, cool. Since Fraser is on, I'm gonna zip over there, and yeah, so I'm gonna call it a short night. I hope everybody has a great evening and a great day. Spread the word. We're talking astronomy, usually most things astronomical, every single day, 2 hours UTC. All right, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here for now. Take care. I will see you on the spin. All right, and I'll work on this microphone. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.